It started on an ordinary Tuesday. Gavin Moore had lived in the same apartment in Milwaukee for 3 years. It was a dull but stable life, freelance design work, long hours behind glowing screens, and late-night walks to clear his head. The neighborhood wasn't bad. It had just enough decay to feel lived in, but not enough to feel dangerous. That night, the sky hung low with clouds, and the streetlights hummed softly, casting long shadows on the sidewalk. Gavin stepped outside around midnight, wrapped in his hoodie, earbuds playing low ambient music. He walked his usual route, down 6th Street, past the bakery with the always burnt sign, through the small empty park, and then looped back home. But as he passed under the first streetlight, he noticed something odd. His shadow didn't fall behind him. It was in front of him. Stretched far ahead on the concrete, flickering faintly with the movement of the light above. He stopped walking. The shadow stopped too. He looked up. The streetlight was clearly behind him. The shadow shouldn't have been where it was. Maybe it was a trick of the light, or a reflection from a passing car. But there were no cars. Just silence. He stepped to the left. The shadow did not. It remained still. In front of him. Upright. Not a trick. Not his. He turned around quickly. Nothing there. Just empty sidewalk, rows of darkened windows, and the hum of electricity in the air. But when he turned back, the shadow was gone. Gavin laughed uneasily, shook his head, and continued his walk, chalking it up to exhaustion and a flickering light. But that wasn't the end. The next night, it happened again. This time, the shadow appeared earlier, under the street lamp near the corner deli. It was more distinct, tall, the shape of a man, just like him, but darker. Too dark. As if the light didn't just cast it, but avoided it. Again, it stood ahead of him. Again, it mimicked his posture, but not his movements. He waved a hand, it didn't move. He turned his head, it remained stiff. Only when Gavin began to walk again did it slowly drift forward, always keeping the same distance. Every night after that, the shadow returned. Always ahead of him. Always watching. By the end of the week, he stopped listening to music during his walks. The silence helped him hear if there was anything. But there never was. Not until the 6th night. He was halfway through the park when the shadow appeared again. And this time, it moved on its own. It didn't wait for him to step forward. It moved first. Slowly, deliberately. Gavin stopped, and the shadow kept walking. The moment it passed beneath the final street lamp at the far edge of the path, it stopped. Then it turned. Not just its head, the entire silhouette rotated to face him. There was nothing there. No figure. No source. Just the shadow, staring at him with the absence of eyes. Gavin didn't sleep that night. He started noticing things inside his apartment. Objects slightly moved from their place. His own shadow, in daylight or lamplight, sometimes lagged a second behind. At first, he thought it was stress or lack of sleep, but soon he couldn't deny what he was seeing. The shadow had followed him home. Sometimes, when he turned a corner in his small apartment, he'd see a glimpse of it just vanishing around the other side. His reflection in the mirror started to feel off, not always synchronized, as if something was pretending to be him and sometimes getting it wrong. The breaking point came on the 12th night. Gavin had barricaded his windows, turned every light on in the apartment, and refused to leave. But shadows don't need doors. They need light. And Gavin couldn't stay awake forever. When he woke that night, and he was sure he hadn't fallen asleep, all the lights were off. The only light came from the hallway, through the small crack under his bedroom door. And there, on the floor, stretched in perfect darkness, was a shadow. It wasn't his. He didn't move. He held his breath as the shadow slowly crept toward his bed, inch by inch, like spilled oil crawling up a slope. When it reached the edge of the mattress, it stopped. Then it rose. It lifted onto the wall beside him, now the shape of a man, tall, head tilted slightly, like it was listening. Gavin couldn't scream. He couldn't speak. The shadow leaned closer. It whispered. He didn't remember what it said. Only the feeling, a cold that wasn't temperature, a pressure inside his chest, like something was curling up inside his lungs and watching him from within. He blacked out. When Gavin woke, it was morning. The lights were back on. The apartment looked normal. Except now, his shadow never followed him. It always walked ahead. And sometimes, it moved before he did.